I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's grey, and Wednesday's too. Thursday, I definitely don't care about you because it's Friday. I'm hosting Oris Talks Football. Good to see you all. Hopefully we'll see some people in the chat, and we do have quite a few people joining tonight. Obviously, a lot more people joining in. Will be more than happy to come back onto these streams after the international break. And it's never going to be easy these days trying to get people on a Friday, but we are grateful for the people who do show up. And speaking of whom, we do have someone who's shown up. Definitely looking forward to seeing the return of club football. Harry Honeygun, delighted to have you as always. And let's also not forget that your team also will be playing this weekend, I believe. So how excited are you for your club team? Bristol City, I think, right?
Yeah, no, really excited for us to be back in action, and we have Norwich City away coming up, which is if you're a follower of the Championship, you would have seen our manager from last season, Ian Manning, move to Norwich. So that's gonna add a little bit of extra spice to it. So should be very interesting. I won't be able to make the game, unfortunately, but I'll be following my team from home. But now, other than that, I'm good. Thanks, Manny. Obviously, thank you for having me on, and yeah, hopefully should have a very interesting talk about club football team. But yeah, I hope you're good as well, mate. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome as always, and of course, big up to Chelsea fan, one of our biggest friends and supporters. Thanks a lot for coming in. And of course, we've got another one who will be coming in, Jonathan. Just try and take your time, and we will definitely get your opinions on the games, and we'll make sure that we get you to have your say after you come on. But of course, we do have a lot of football to talk about. And of course, before we do that, please do what Chelsea fan says. Keep hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel. And we've also got the Twitter ticker where you can find our Twitter account, Oris Talks Footy. And obviously our other social media accounts. As always, subscribe. And yep, on Instagram, you can check us out at Oris Talks Football if you haven't already. Now, of course, we're going to start with a preview, of course, which is, of course, the preview for Game Week 8. And it's amazing, really, when you take a look at how the season has progressed so far. Obviously, we've seen quite a few teams start to, assert their dominance, but we have also, seen quite a few teams slip up of late. And it's amazing how topsy-turvy things have become. Of course, Arsenal are top of the league now after all of that, and we're going to get to them in a minute. But quite a few big teams have started to stumble a little bit. And one of those teams, of course, is Chelsea, who, as many of us will know, had a pretty poor outing at Stamford Bridge against Brighton and Hove Albion, losing 3-1. And they have also started to display some characteristics of being rather inconsistent. Now, they are, of course, heading over to a Nottingham Forest side that obviously has had no wins in 7. Ange Postecoglou has not had a good start to life at the City ground. And, of course, Callum Hudson-Odoi will be relishing his old team coming to town. One thing which I'm going to say about Nottingham Forest is that all this talk about sacking Ange and bringing in some other new manager, be it Sean Dyche or Rafael Benitez, is rather silly, really, because when you take a look at how, Ange has had to try and go about things, obviously he was hired because he wanted the club, I should say, wanted a new style of football. Nuno was starting to get found out and the rot had set in. And I don't have any sympathy for Santo and the way he, just mouthed off a bit too much and ended up getting the sack. But Forest have played some really good football at times, especially against Real Betis in the Europa League. But they have also made some pretty uncharacteristic mistakes. And sadly, obviously, in this day and age, it's the manager who bears the brunt of it. We are, of course, obviously at an age right now where, people blame the manager, but the manager also is showing his own defiance and saying, I still believe we can get things done. And when you take a look at how Oliver Glasner was backed last season, despite having no wins in 8 and 1 win in 13, There's no reason why Ange shouldn't be back. But obviously, there are going to be people who disagree. This might be a good game for both teams because Chelsea also, as I've said, are looking very, very inconsistent. And they have shown that if you get at their defense, which can be very, inconsistent at times and somehow trying to get through their midfield, they will be a bit of a soft touch. And now, of course, there's news that ice cold Palmer will have to be kept in the cold for a bit longer because he's now out with a longer injury than predicted. So I've already said what I wanted to say, but Harry, how do you see this game going about?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game. Obviously, you mentioned a lot there on Ange's start to his tenure at Nottingham Forest, which if you just look at the results, it hasn't been great. But then you make a great point about Glasnow's time at Crystal Palace last season. Albeit last season at Spurs, I think that's where sort of people are sort of getting conflicted on Ange on how well he's going to do for Forest, but obviously still very, very early doors, and it's a completely new squad who are still sort of used to playing the way Nuno's got them going. So I do reckon it's going to take a little bit of time until we see Ange sort of get to grips with his Forest squads. For Chelsea, I do agree with it. They have been very, very, very inconsistent this season. Obviously got that great win against Liverpool last month. Liverpool themselves are on a bit of a dodgy run at the moment just before the international break. But a win against the current champions is always going to give them a lot of confidence. So, I mean, in terms of prediction, I think Chelsea can go and put on a professional display. I've gone for 2-0 Chelsea in this one. Then about
2-1. 2-1 Chelsea sounds like a good prediction. I mean, there is a part of me that hopes that Forest can somehow try and get things together, but I actually see this game ending in a 2-2 draw because, the way I look at it, Ange is obviously going to want to try to take some advantage of the possible openings in the Chelsea defence. So he will want to select a more attacking side in comparison to the team that was obviously set up against Newcastle. Ultra defensive, 3-4-3, and they held their own, but some individual mistakes ended up, costing them, and they lost 2-0. And we already have a prediction here from Jonathan. Chelsea has been inconsistent, but he says that they should win 2-0 and continue Forest's misery. Chelsea fan also agrees that Chelsea have been up and down this season, but I'm sure you might be confident of a win tomorrow for Chelsea. So that's 3 wins. I'll go against the grain and go for a Desmond for this one because there is a part of me that really believes that Forest should turn the corner, and they will. But having said that, if they are unable to win their next 2 or 3 games, then I could see the owner's trigger finger being, just used, and we could see the Aussie being sent on his merry way. But we'll find out, obviously. This is the Saturday early clash at lunchtime, and that is, of course, the first game that's going to be played. And that's a preview to, of course, a prelude, as it were, to a really appetizing, maybe not necessarily appetizing, but definitely interesting lineup of games we've got, starting with this game where the Magpies go all the way to the Amex Stadium. A clash of 2 big birds, the Seagulls and the Magpies. It's hard to really talk about this game without seeing how inconsistent both teams are at times. I know Newcastle obviously are in a high position in the league and somehow they've managed to eke out some wins, but there have been times this season where they haven't been as dominant as they were last season when, of course, they qualified for the Champions League. And although they had an excellent second outing in Europe, beating their Swiss counterparts 4-0, I think the loss at home to Barcelona would have been a bit of a reality check in many ways. But it is often predicted that when teams balance Europe and a domestic season, there will be a drop-off, and Newcastle haven't been quite as dominant. But again, Brighton are just one of those really infuriating teams that you never know what you're going to get with them. They are like a box of chocolates, as you would say. And this is a team that can struggle against opponents that are, a little bit lower than them in the table, and somehow find a way to, sneak to snag a 3-1 win against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Of course, Chelsea have been inconsistent, and their ill discipline has let them down at times. But Brighton are that sort of a team, and they're also proving, of course, that it isn't just about Kaoru Mitoma. There are some other players in the team who are doing well, and we do have another big player joining in, my Tamil brother, AK. Good evening, brother. How are you tonight?
Yeah, AK.
Vanakkam,
Well.
Vanakkam.
இனிய மாலை வணக்கம். நன்றா இருக்கீங்களா?
Friday, அண்ணா. Friday.
அற்புதம். And to those of you who aren't very fluent in Tamil, we're just exchanging salutation. But
Hi, AK. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you.
Oh yeah. I'm doing good, mate.
Oh, that's good.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, before I get your opinion, obviously, I'll just quickly ask you, AK, Forest against Chelsea, what's your prediction?
I think Chelsea, with the depth, the quality that they have, and of course they're playing away. I think Chelsea got this comfortably. And
Could very
of
well
course,
be.
man like Big Ange, Mr. Highline for life, mate,
Well, he didn't play the Highline against Newcastle. Give him credit for that.
Oh yeah, I'll give him credit for that, though. At least he got balls to do that. Especially up against Eddie Howe.
Yeah, confirmation that Chelsea fans gone for a 2-1 win. I think, according to you, the scoreline might be a lot bigger, huh?
Probably 3-1. It could be 3-1, Estevao, man like Estevao.
Oh, yeah, he's doing well at the moment, isn't he? Good youngster that Chelsea picked up from Brazil, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was. But yeah, he's having a great season so far.
Amazing. And we got some more people in the chat. Big up to you, Joshua. Thanks for joining in. And listen, if you would like us to, if you'd like to join our chat and also join the panel one of these days, you're more than welcome. Please subscribe to our channel if you can. Now, of course, we are talking about Newcastle and Brighton. And Harry, I'll come to you first, though. As I was saying, Newcastle have had a bit of a drop-off this season, but Brighton are still just so infuriatingly inconsistent. But they also show that it isn't just about Kaoru Mitoma anymore. They do have some other players who can certainly contribute to their success. And I think Ferguson is still proving that he is quite a key player for them. So this obviously will be quite interesting, and Newcastle will do well to try to avoid this banana skin. But Harry, how do you see this game going?
Yeah, I think you mentioned it there. Again, Manny, Brighton are of that team, which you just never know. You just never know what sort of Brighton team are gonna turn up. They do like to catch teams out and catch teams cold, I suppose. And Newcastle this season, albeit only 7 games in, they haven't done that as well on the road as they have compared to the games at St James's Park this season. Obviously, winning last time out against Nottingham Forest, or I'm sure it was by 2-0. But yeah, away from home they do tend to struggle a little bit. So that's why I'm actually gonna back the Seagulls for home side on this one, and I'm gonna say a 1-0 win to Brighton, which would be massive 3 points for them against a good Newcastle side. I reckon they got him. I'll say 1-0 Brighton in this one.
Okay, that's nice. AK, what say you? Brighton against Newcastle.
Yeah. This fixture is going to be quite tricky. Newcastle that had a bit of a drop off, but let's not get let's not get carried away here. I still think Voltemada, they call him the German Messi. Yeah, certain fans on Twitter call him the German Messi, which of course again overhype. And I don't know why they keep doing this, but yeah, never mind. Yeah, but look, Voltemada, I think he's been good. I feel he's got a couple of goals. And yeah, I mean Newcastle. Even though despite losing Isak, which of course he went to Liverpool in a very wrong manner. Um, yeah, I think Voltemada would. Yeah, I think Voltemada would be the standout player for Newcastle. I feel, and I think he's going to do well. So I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle. Up the Geordies.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. For me, I do tend to agree with what Harry has said, and I will actually back Brighton here, but I'm going for a 2-1 win. Interesting you mentioned Voltemada. Yes, he does have the ability. He certainly made a better start to life in the Premiership than his fellow German Florian Wirtz. Although, to be brutally honest, I consider him to be more...
Yeah, 009. Sorry, yeah, forgot to mention 009. And the streak is not ending. Man United.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. We'll come to that, obviously. I mean, obviously you mentioned about Voltemada being the German Messi. To me, he is quite frankly the German Peter Crouch, but a much better player, more mobile, and definitely lends a lot more to the team in every way. And I'm not too sure though that he might get that much help this time around from the Brighton defence, but we're going to see. So obviously, I'm going for a 2-1 to Brighton here, and we do have 3 people. That's Chelsea fan Jonathan and now Joshua, who've gone for a score draw, 1-1. So quite split here, quite split. And obviously, neither team will want to lose this game, but something will have to give eventually. I mean, I remember when we played them at St. James's Park, it was too close to call, and eventually, we ended up getting that winner. But a lot of people will say that we had a lot of good fortune in that game, and I completely agree. And I am not calling that the stuff of champions. There's still a long way to go. And of course, talking about we're sort of going to move away from talk of champions right now to talk of potential relegation candidates, Burnley against Leeds United. Now, both of these teams have shown a great deal of heart and spirit, and obviously, I think it's fair to say that, we've missed having them around in some ways. But, willing spirit, weak flesh doesn't really get you that far. You need goals. You need points. And both of these teams are definitely in need of this. So this could be an early relegation 6-pointer the way both of these teams are going right now. And it's very hard to imagine where, it's almost hard to predict this result. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin has started to prove himself a little bit, having joined Leeds. As far as Burnley is concerned, they're still heavily dependent on Lyle Foster. And I know that Foster will be going to the World Cup with South Africa, but now that qualification is secured, he's got to start scoring for Burnley now because, obviously when they went back to your neck of the woods, AK, Manchester City, Kyle Walker returning to his old stomping ground, you showed him no mercy. 5-1, I remember that game. And it's going to be very difficult to see where Burnley do go from here. They will need to start scoring goals. For a team that employs a 5-man defence, they still somehow find a way to just leak goals and at the worst possible time. And as we saw with Luton Town last season, hard luck stories can only get you so far. Not last season, the season before, I should say. So, AK, I was speaking to you. I will come to you. Which manager out of Scott Parker or Daniel Farke will be smiling at the end?
Scott Parker, Daniel Farke. As much as I back my Claret brothers, yeah. Obviously I want them to win because I want them to stay up. Leeds, like even though they've got some good, they got some good uh young legs in there, and of course, speaking of that, Wilfred Nyonto is still there. The young Italian, the young Italian, the young Italian prodigy. So he's still there. He's still there. But I don't think that's enough for them to, at least stay up top. I mean, like, although they got a couple of wins, but at the same time, they've been getting losses. So yeah, but unfortunately, I do see Burnley going down at this rate. But uh, you know, in a relegation battle, anything can happen. But I back Burnley to win this since they're playing at Turf Moor. So I think they have a home advantage. So I'm gonna go 2-1 Burnley.
Ooh.
Okay, well, apparently the chat doesn't seem to agree with you. There are about 3 guys who've gone for Leeds to win this, only by 2-1 though. And Harry, I'm assuming you might be joining that group.
Yes, I'm gonna agree with the chat. There, I've gone for 2-1 Leeds as well. I think it will be a very, very tight game, and no doubt it is a relegation 6-pointer. I just feel like Leeds have maybe have shown a little bit more. The 2 wins against Everton and Wolves. Although Wolves have been, they've been having their troubles this season. So maybe that result didn't come as much as a surprise. But credit for Leeds for getting those 2 wins, and a good draw at home to Newcastle and Bournemouth in there so far this season. But yeah, the losses have been against. The losses have. What's the word I'm looking for? They're not convincing against the teams that I've lost to, and like I say, one of them, Fulham, is sort of like most likely going to be around the mid-table area of this season. So you would have, if you are Leeds, you probably would have fancied yourself to try and hold on for a point there. I see they exceeded very late at the end of doing goal, but in terms of this game, yeah, I'm going to go for 2-1 Leeds. I think they've just got a little bit more. Burnley, I think they've shown great team spirit so far this season, but sadly, I think they're going to be a sort of the last year's version of sort of say Ipswich Town and a bit of Luton Town from a season prior as well. So I do think they are probably the most likely promoted side out of the 3 to be relegated. I think this will be a damning result for them. So a 2-1 away win for Leeds at Turf Moor.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, the reason why AKA went for the win is because they are at Turf Moor, and obviously they got their only win this season, beating the high-flying Wearsiders at Turf Moor. But I think obviously Burnley do have some defensive issues, and Leeds are starting to get a little bit into their stride in a way, but they also need some points. And I do think they've got a bit more about them, and it was interesting you talked about Wilfred Nyonto. I think his loyalty to Leeds has cost him his spot in the Italy team, but I don't think he seems to mind. He knows he still has time on his side, maybe. And they do have a strong core of players from the side that was in the Premiership last under Jesse Marsh, if memory serves me right. So Leeds do probably have a bit more about them this season. Certainly a bit more about them for this game. And I'm also going to go for a 2-1 Leeds win, but two teams, we can easily say fighting relegation, anything can happen. But now from a relegation 6-pointer to a clash between two informed teams, and of course with Monday being Diwali, thank you for your Diwali wishes backstage, AK. I wish all of our Indian friends and everyone celebrating a very happy Diwali in advance. It is this Monday on the 20th. And we do have a little bit of a pre-Diwali cracker between two formed teams. Obviously, Palace continuing their good work from the previous season, doing their best to juggle Europe and a domestic campaign. No European football for Bournemouth, but they are right now, as we speak, in the top 4. In 4th position, of course, behind Spurs, only on goal difference, while Crystal Palace are 6th with 12 points, just outside the European places. But both of these teams have literally looked very, very impressive. And, of course, we cannot allow ourselves to forget that Crystal Palace are the defending FA Cup champions. So both of these managers obviously have got their teams playing some excellent football. Certainly, really, really easy on the eye to watch for both teams, I would say. And Crystal Palace do seem to have a lot more about them defensively. They do like to use a 3-4-2-1 formation, almost similar to what Amorim uses, except Glasner does it better. Yes, I went there, United fans, especially those who back Ruben Amorim. But as far as Bournemouth are concerned, everybody predicted that they would struggle losing their defenders, but they look exceptionally good. The only thing they have to guard against would be another fall, another slip in form, similar to what they had near the end of last season, which cost them European football. But obviously, the Cherries are sort of battle-scarred, and I think they are determined to try to put this right, even with a few long-term injuries, including to club captain Adam Smith, among others. They still certainly have been able to look a very cohesive unit. So I'm going to get your predictions and your analysis, starting with you, Harry. What say you about this one?
Yeah, I think this will be another really, really intriguing encounter. It's a shame for Everton that obviously Manchester City loanee Jack Grealish will be ineligible to play this game due to the loan rules, which is a shame for Everton, as I just mentioned, because he has been by far their brightest spark this season, and it's nice to see sort of a Grealish how we saw at Aston Villa before.
Yeah, we'll talk about Grealish. Obviously, we're going to talk about Grealish when they play when City play Everton, but obviously he's not available. We're talking about Palace and Bournemouth now, though. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, Palace, Bournemouth. Sorry, I got mixed up there. Sorry, so I just completely restarted there. But again, this will be a really intriguing encounter at Selhurst Park between two very good teams. Obviously, Palace just come off the back of losing their really long stretch unbeaten run. Whereas Bournemouth are doing very well, and of course, Semenyo is their bright spot this season. I'm sort of we'll be looking very closely to see where Antoine Semenyo does end up, because for those who didn't watch much Championship, he actually started at my Bristol City, so I do believe we have a sell-on clause on him. The higher fee Bournemouth get for him, the more money we get, in simple terms. But yeah, I think he'll be very effective in this game, and it's hard to score with a prediction for this game. So I'm going to sit on the fence, and I'm going to go down the middle. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Apologies, I was speaking about the Man City Everton game, but yeah, of course we'll get to that.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll talk about it. We'll get to that. Obviously, it's all good. Don't worry about it. And I can tell you right now that Jonathan agrees with your prediction, as does Steve, the Brentford fan. And we're going to discuss your game near the end. Steve, thank you for joining in. Reece Dolan, welcome to the chat, of course, and welcome to the channel. Do please subscribe. We'd love to have you on the panel soon. So you got people agreeing with you that it could be a 1-1 draw. And AK, Glasner against Iriola. Who's going to come out on top here?
For me, obvious choice. Look, no disrespect to no disrespect to Iriola. I think he's a good manager, top manager. What he's done with Bournemouth, amazing. I'm not downplaying that, but Glasner, I think, has got the upper hand. Um, Obviously, I'm gonna go with Glasner Masterclass 2-1 Crystal Palace.
Well, Reese agrees with you, AK. 2-1. And I think Harry's pretty much hit the nail on the head when he said that it's hard to predict this. Ideally, you'd expect Crystal Palace to, win this because of the issue of home comforts. But Bournemouth have shown that they are definitely up for the fight. And with the attacking reserves both teams have at their disposal, I think a lot of people have mentioned that we could see Sarr scoring, or even Mateta maybe getting the game winner, with Joshua predicting a 1-0 win. But Bournemouth also have some very good attacking options themselves. Kluivert, Evan Nilsson.
Money. Sorry about that. Yeah. For that game, yeah. For that game, I'm gonna be keeping an eye on Wharton.
Oh yeah,
Adam Wharton. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely one to keep an eye out on. I mean, controversially, he hasn't been picked for England under Tuchel, but neither has Kobbie Mainoo and one or two others. But that's a topic for another day, and obviously there are going to be people who have their own opinions about that. And this is one of those games where I think the majority of people have said that this is going to be a bit too close to call. I'm also going to go for a draw, but a Desmond here as well, 2-2. I think there will be goals in this. I think we're going to see some terrific attacking football. As I said, it's a Diwali cracker. And now, of course, we come to this game, which isn't that much of a cracker because there's no Chuck E. Cheese. There's no Chuck E. Cheese for this one. As you mentioned, Harry, he is ineligible for this game because he is, of course, on loan for Manchester City. And he has, of course, been central to, I wouldn't say central, but definitely integral to Everton's performances this season. And, of course, I believe he did, in fact, score the winner in one of their previous games. So, obviously, there's been a clamour for him to be brought back into the England squad. Him over Anthony Gordon, in my opinion. But other people disagree. It is what it is. And as far as City are concerned, I'll come to you here first, AK, obviously, because once again, we've seen City last season obviously have a dreadful last season by your standards. And now, of late, we have seen many of the legends been sent on their merry way. We saw Kyle Walker leave. Obviously, Ederson's left. Ilkay Gundogan is also gone. And Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, as you know, he left at the end of last season. And then Ederson. Yeah, I mentioned Ederson, actually. And now, of course, you've got Trafford and Donnarumma to replace him. So, obviously, this has been sort of a season of regeneration, a new team, new players coming in. And yet, I think there have been some games where you'll agree that, City have looked a little bit pedestrian when they shouldn't have been. There were games that they should have won. And I remember when we played you sat back and allowed us to get the equaliser. Normally, you would have tried to put your foot further on our necks and score a few more goals. But I think you ended up shutting up shop, which doesn't seem natural to you, and you ended up conceding that last-minute equaliser. And if memory serves me right, you also lost to Brighton with another late winner. So are you concerned that, all the mistakes from last season are being repeated? And do you think Everton will be much of a worry? Maybe not without Grealish in the team, but should you be concerned that maybe it's not clicking for you as of yet?
I don't look worried at this rate because coming back from that Tottenham loss, coming back from that Brighton, coming back from those losses. It did hit us hard though. It brought more doubt into our squad. But we have been looking well in form, and especially after our victory against Man United, which was like a couple of weeks before, and yeah, and of course the draw against Monaco, which of course we should have done better. We should have done better there. Um, and coming off a recent win, yeah, coming off a recent win. I think I think I'm feeling I'm actually feeling kind of positive that we are actually we're slowly getting back to our form again, like the city of old. So yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I mean, uh, Mani, I'll remind you this. As Pep once said, uh, the Premier League is not a sprint; it's a marathon. So look, I'm not saying that these losses. I'm not saying that these losses were just a thing in the past. No, it hurt us because yeah, well, obviously it gave us a reality check of the state of our team, and the main issue was our backline. So that was when Edison was our goal, and not gonna lie, Edison's head was somewhere else. I feel, and he was looking for a move away. So it had to happen. Unfortunately, Edison had to go, but he's doing well at Fenerbahce. So I wish him all the best. Uh, and right now, with our new back line and our new goalkeeper, we are w- with our new goalkeeper, we are a much better side right now, organized at the back because of him. Because with him at the back, at least the mistakes of our back line will be covered uh, with Donnarumma on goal. So make it make sense. Yeah. So at the moment, I'm not disappointed. I mean, I do feel positive, and all I want us to do is keep that winning run, keep that winning run going.
Okay. And just briefly before I move to Harry, if you don't win anything, does Pep leave?
He'll walk. He'll walk if he doesn't win anything. Yeah.
Okay. Said it perfectly. And now, of course, we come to you. If there's anything extra you'd like to add, Harry, or have you said everything you want to say already?
I pretty much said it. Pretty much said it. Everything I want to say already. So I'll just give my prediction here. I think it'll be. I think City will just edge it 2-1. I think Everton have had a bright start to the season. Yeah, of course, without Grealish, as I previously mentioned, I think we're going to find it quite difficult. So yeah, I'll say it's 2-1 win to the home side. But yeah, I'd keep an eye out on Everton this season. I think they can surprise a few teams. I think they have had a really good start, and yeah, just credit to them because I think yeah, but Moyes has got some really nice football, and it's great to see after sort of they've been struggling a little bit. So yeah, but now I say it's 2-1 to City in this game.
Okay, well, Chelsea fans gone for 2-0. I'm also going for a very nervy 2-1 win. Definitely squeaky backside time, Pep version. But thanks a lot for your inputs. And but wait a minute, AK, we haven't had your score prediction yet. 2-1 or something bigger?
I think you might expect a Haaland hat on the cards. So but definitely we might concede a goal from a silly error. But I'm confident we'll get the 3 points, so I'm gonna go 3-1.
That's more like it. At least you're being a lot more positive. And of course, we've got the last afternoon game on Saturday, which sees the high-flying Wearsiders hosting the bottom of the table Wanderers. And of course, I think our good friend Jack Underwood will tell you that it's not a good time to be a Wolves fan right now. Of course, it is fair to say that with a new team, a new formation, I think they've moved to a 4-3-3 under Pereira. They have started to perform a lot better. They deserved something at the Tottenham Stadium against Spurs. And those jammy so-and-sos from the wrong half of North London had to score a last-minute equaliser. Palhinha, of all people. Another team which are starting to look really good, but still need some points. And we will go to Tottenham a little bit later, but Wolves just seem to be in all sorts of trouble. As far as Sunderland are concerned, I think they've made me eat some humble pie, and they proved me wrong in many ways. But it is going to start to get a bit difficult for them once they start playing some of the bigger teams. As far as this is concerned, I think it's fair to say that this has a Sunderland win written all over it. Harry, would you concur with that?
Yeah, definitely. I can see Sunderland, especially being my home side here. I reckon they'll it'll be a nice convincing win for over the struggling Wolves, as we just mentioned there, Manny. And I feel, I'm starting to get obviously very, very concerned for Wolves. Obviously, it's still very early days, and they've been in this position for the past few seasons, but they always seem to manage to survive in the end. So they've got the experience there over sort of like the Premier teams, say like Burnley, Leeds. At the moment, Sunderland are in sort of no worries for relegation, but as you say again, there, maybe they'll sort of have a reality check. Sort of when they start to play against the bigger sides like in Manchester City, your Liverpool's, your Chelsea's, your Arsenal's, your Newcastle's. Of course, that'll be a big derby. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on in that one. But for this game, I'm going to say a comfortable 2-0 win to Sunderland at home over Wolves, and I think Wolves will be going home feeling very, very concerned indeed. So 2-0 to Sunderland in this one.
Yeah, well, Jonathan's also gone for a 2-0 to Sunderland. Chelsea fan predicts a tighter match. And Steve's gone for a 2-goal margin, but Sunderland to score thrice. And it will be interesting to see where the goals do come from. I think there is a part of me that believes that their backline could end up being a bit weak once they play against some high-quality opposition. But they're not playing high-quality opposition. They're playing against a Wolves team that are bottom of the league. So, AK, how do you see this one going?
I think Sunderland. I think Sunderland is gonna. I think Sunderland are gonna easily win that game. They have got some quality though. I can't lie. Of course, one of your ex-players, Granit Xhaka, he's there, and they got that Diarra guy from Strasbourg. So yeah, I mean they do got some quality up front, and it's gonna be played in the Stadium of Light. Can you imagine, Manny? Can you imagine? How many years has it been since I've not seen Sunderland in the Prem play in the Stadium of Light?
It's been a long time, brother. Been a long time.
Long time.
Very, very long time indeed.
Yeah. And AK, you mentioned the players, but this chap Isidore certainly seems a good player. Jonathan has a point here.
Oh yeah, Isidore. Yeah, Isidore. Dr. Yeah. Uh, they have. Yeah, they've got some talent up front. Not gonna lie, some good talent up front. And of course, Mani. Without the I mean, and looks like Sunderland without the absence of Joe Bellingham. Uh, Sunderland looking good. Not gonna lie, they are looking good.
Certainly, certainly, certainly. But again, it is still early days, and we'll see if they do have the stamina
Oh yeah.
to
Sorry,
last
Mani.
the course.
My prediction for the Sunderland game. I'm gonna go 3-1 Sunderland.
So you agree with Steve here? Sunderland to score 3, but to concede 1 at the back.
Yeah.
I'm actually more inclined to go with Chelsea fan here and go for a 2-1 Sunderland win because, Wolves are starting to show a little bit more solidity, and I don't expect them to get a point or even win this one, but, they're going to continue to huff and puff, and we'll see if they can blow the house down. Now, of course, we will come to the final game on Saturday. And the question is, we're going to huff and puff, but will we blow the cottage down? We haven't been able to do so in recent times. And of course, with Fulham's ex-Gunners in their lineup, eager to try and, prove a point and win a few against us, this is always one of those awkward games that we absolutely despise playing. And so if we ever do come away from Craven Cottage with a win, when we do, it's always, something for which we can be completely relieved. And a lot of people will be saying, why are you so worried, brother? You're top of the league. What's there to be worried about? And history tells us that whenever you start to feel comfortable and think nothing can go wrong, that is when everything goes wrong. Murphy's Law. I don't know if Fulham have a Murphy in their team, but we will, of course, find everything out. Some news, of course, from Arsenal is that Ben White will be out with a bit of a longer injury, but we should have more or less our first choice defence available. Hinchapi, of course, will be back. No Odegaard, of course, and no Madueke. It will be interesting to see if Martinelli continues on the left or will Arteta try something different. This is a game where I could perhaps feel a little bit more confident of a win, because, we are starting to display a little bit of that grittiness again. But knowing Fulham as well as we do, they're always going to be determined to try to, spoil our party. And they have a knack of doing that as well. They and Brighton are literally separated twins at birth, if that were possible. And we've already got some comments from people who have got their predictions. But, AK, how do you see this game turning out?
Interesting take. As much as I want these top gunners, yeah, especially Igal, to come to realization that you always can't get your way. And these top gunners, as usual, keep up. I mean, these top gunners already are on cloud 9. I want them to fall back down to earth. I mean, look, Manny, no offense to you. I rate you. I like you. You're my brother. Yeah, big up to you always. A proper Arsenal fan. I'm talking about these top deluded. I'm talking about these deluded top gunners. Yeah, that keep making up excuses, and they're already on cloud 9. So I want them to fall. I want them to fall down back to earth and finally come to realization that you're not as good as you think. But look, coming up to recent performances, Fulham have always been your bogey team,
Yes,
if
that's
I'm
true.
correct. Yeah, Fulham have always been your bogey team, and I think Fulham and Craven Cottage, they're definitely gonna turn up. They are definitely gonna turn up, especially Smith Rowe.
So what's your prediction for this one?
It's gonna be a close one, though I feel. But look, I know for sure Gyökeres is not gonna be playing. Is what I've heard. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not, but I don't think he's. I think he's not gonna be playing. I think he's gonna be the German donkey up front, back again, 29, number 29. So I don't know whether he's gonna. I don't know whether he's going to actually prove himself after coming back or not. I don't know, but think to go on a safe bet, I'm gonna go for a draw, 2-2.
Okay, well, of course, we had a draw last time out in the corresponding fixture, 1-1. And of course, the season before that, we lost 2-1, one of a number of defeats, which cost us our chance of winning the title. And I think you might be right here, Steve. Our chances will probably again be scuppered, but it will remain to be seen. You have, of course, though, been kind enough to predict that we'd win 2-1. Chelsea fans said the same thing, and Jonathan's gone for a 3-1 win. I'll give you my prediction in a minute, but Harry, Honeygun, let's hear what you've got to say about this one.
I'm going to agree with John here. This may seem a bit of a nut, perhaps, given Arsenal's record in recent times at Craven Cottage, but I back two guys. Win this quite comfortably for 3-1. The Gunners have missed one. Obviously, it was a good period before the international break. Obviously, and obviously no one's getting too far away for Arsenal. And of course, it can be top into say like the final 5 games of the season and still fall away. So still a lot of games to go. Like he said previously, it's not a marathon. No, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So yeah, but I do feel like it's all going quite well for you guys, and obviously you mentioned there, Manny, with what comes with that is sort of you're almost waiting for something to slip up, but I honestly don't see it here. I reckon Fulham obviously are very inconsistent side. They're almost, like you say, they are similar to Brighton in a way where you don't know which sort of Fulham team going to turn up. But my full-time prediction, I'm going to say 3-1 win to Arsenal. I feel like you'll get the job done. And yeah, 3-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I mean, obviously, we do have a knack of being able to find some goals from elsewhere on the pitch, even if our strikers can't score for Toffee. Havertz is, of course, still out injured, so we will be depending on Gyökeres. 3 goals in 10 games this season, go figure. And I would actually agree with Mr. B here that we should win this, but probably 2-1, because Fulham are going to be determined to prove why they are still our bogey team, as AK has said. I'd like to think that this is a different Arsenal team right now, and we are starting to pick up points where, we normally wouldn't. But again, it is early days. There's always many a slip between the cup and the lip. I'm just hopeful that we can pull off a win at the Cottage, but if we don't, it's not going to look good for us with Liverpool to play on Sunday. And of course, we will be coming to Liverpool very, very soon. But with Saturday's games done, we are going to go to Sunday's games, and we will be beginning with a nice little clash between Tottenham Hotspur and Aston Villa. Villa are back on the up. A few wins has given them some confidence, of course, and they're 13th, but you will expect them to rise a little bit because they're only 4 points off 5th place, the Europa League position. And it hasn't been a good start for them, but they have improved. Spurs, of course, are flying high, currently 3rd in the Premiership, but ahead of Bournemouth on goal difference. They have shown some inconsistencies, though, and they have shown that they can be beaten. And in recent times, Villa have enjoyed some good fortune at the Tottenham Stadium, although last season under Ange Postecoglou, Spurs recovered from going down 1-0 to recording an absolutely thumping 4-1 win. So it'll be interesting to see how Thomas the Frank engine gets his team set up. Now, Villa also have been in the news very recently, as some of you know, for the decision taken by external authorities, that is the West Midlands Police and also a security task force, to ban fans of Maccabi Tel Aviv from attending the Europa League clash to be taking place next week at Villa Park. And without further ado, I'm going to say that the right decision has been taken, because the Tel Aviv fans, quite frankly, have been in the news in recent times for being a bunch of absolute rowdy, evil troublemakers more than anything else, especially if their antics in Amsterdam are anything to go by. And for Keir Starmer to poke his nose into this and say, you know, it's a dreadful decision, it's anti-Semitic, sir, you need to stay in your lane and focus on some bigger problems and stop pandering to the Israel lobby. But Villa, of course, obviously will know that the league is their bread and butter, and I would love to see them win, but I'm not too sure it could happen. But AK, let me start with you. Obviously, you've seen both teams play. You know how Spurs play. You will be playing against Villa coming up. And these are teams which have given you some problems, but which have also given you some of your best victories. So you've had some good battles between these two teams. How do you think both of these teams are doing? How do you think they'll do sort of shaping up to this? Because although Spurs have started brilliantly, Villa are recovering too, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Villa, ever since, no, I think ever since from the start of the league, they've been looking quite drab, if you ask me. But before the international break, they've been looking quite resurgent, and I, it could mean trouble for us. I mean, since we played them at Villa Park, and the last time we played at Villa Park was when we lost our game. So yeah, it looks like Unai Emery is getting back to his old ways again, which is going to be trouble unless we. I mean, like, I mean, yeah, but that's not the game for the next week. So yeah, if we do beat Everton, then I'm confident about the Villa game. So yeah, looks like Villa are finding form again. Uh, yeah, Villa are finding form again, and it's good to see though. It's good to see that they're finding form again. And whereas for Tottenham Hotspur, although in some games they got their Spurs back, yeah. Uh, Congratulations, you got your Spurs back. Yeah, unfortunately, but look, Thomas Frank, we all know that he can. We all know that we all know what he does and what he can actually do. So I I I can actually see Thomas Frank pull something out of the bag, and yeah. Hmm. But I still think it's gonna be a convincing win for Tottenham. So I'm gonna go 2-1 Tottenham.
Well, clearly, Steve agrees with you there. And of course, Frank used to manage his club, as you will all know. Jonathan's also gone for a 2-1 win, and Chelsea fan believes it's going to be 3-1 to Spurs. And yes, proper manager. We'll find out soon enough. There's still a long way to go. So all of you Spurs fans who are bigging him up, wind your necks in. Now, we'll come to my prediction in a minute, but Harry, how do you see this one playing out, Spurs and Villa?
Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to agree with the majority here. I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-1 win for Spurs. Villa, of course, I feel as if they're still finding their feet so far this season. I can't remember what their result was before the international break. However, yeah, I feel like for Spurs have been okay in some games this season, but I think they just get the job done here, especially with obviously the home advantage is massive. So yeah, I would say 2-1 win Spurs in this one on the Sunday game.
Okay, well, everyone seems to be going for Spurs, but I'm going to go against the grain and go for Aston Villa to win this 2-1. And the reason why is because I do believe that in terms of the back line, they have improved quite a bit with Pau Torres coming back into the team. They've actually had 4 straight wins at both domestically and in Europe.
Manny, I'm sorry. I apologize if I'm interrupting you, but I want to say, it would be surprising, yeah. It would be so surprising if Unai Emery tactically outclasses Thomas Frank. I will be like,
It wouldn't.
I will be shocked.
Well, we'll see how that turns out because, of course, Frank's record against his predecessor at Spurs was played 4, lost 3, drawn 1. So we're going to see how well he does when he comes up against some more experienced managers. Maybe the job could be too big for him. We'll see. And Steve, you know better as well as anyone else that I never predict a clean sheet for Aston Villa, but I am going for Villa to win 2-1 because the reason why I say this is because there are some occasions where Spurs do still have a little bit of, a soft centre and some inconsistencies. And this could also be a game where the inconsistencies come to the fore with Aston Villa coming back. And of course, let's not forget, Villa have another striking option, Daniel Malin, who can score. Jonathan, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hope you're all good.
Yeah, well, of course, you're in time because we are going to talk about Manchester United very soon. And thanks a lot for giving us your predictions in the chat. So you have come in at a good time. So, I mean, all of you have predicted Spurs to win this game, but I'm going for Villa to win because as an Arsenal fan, I do not like Spurs at all. Everyone knows that. And hopefully it will be a good afternoon, not evening for Unai Emery, but we'll see what happens. I think things are starting to come together for Villa at the right time, and Spurs are starting to show a few cracks, as proved when Wolves nearly beat them, of course. Any other team that day would have snatched 3 points, and Bournemouth snatched 3 points from Spurs that day. Now, of course, before we go to the big game on Sunday, we will actually have a little bit of a future jump and head to the derby night on Monday night at the London Stadium between West Ham and Brentford. Steve, if only you were here, we'd get your opinions on this. Now, of course, West Ham, as we all know, they sacked Graham Potter and they appointed Nuno Santo. Nuno's first game was against Arsenal, finished with a 2-0 loss, and so he's got a lot of work to do to try to get the team solid again. And I think it's about that time that West Ham fans start to accept the fact that they're never going to go back to the days of the attacking, free-flowing, stylish football that they loved back in the day when the World Cup winners were running riot. Their best results and best performances have been with more pragmatic managers. They won a European trophy with a pragmatic manager. And I think that's pretty much now the only way they can go in the hope that they can save their season and avoid relegation. Otherwise, their bubbles will burst. And of course, as far as Brentford are concerned, their last game, of course, was that 1-0 defeat to your lot, aka Manchester City, where you did really very well to score in the first 10 minutes. But in the second half, Brentford were swarming all over you like a swarm of bees, pun intended, it must be said. And they're showing some signs that they are not to be a team to be messed with because you think they're a soft touch. When they sting you, it'll hurt. And central to that has been a certain Jordan Henderson, who's done very well for the club, it has to be said, when many people had predicted that he'd be a flop. But again, it's early days. We'll see if he lasts the season. Jonathan, since you've come in, welcome. Let's hear your prediction for this Monday night derby.
I've gone for a draw, one all draw in this game. Both of these sides not been great. I don't like West Ham at all. I'm actually worried for West Ham, but at the same time, now they've got obviously they got Nuno, so I think if anyone's going to keep them up, he could keep them. He could keep them up, but yeah, they're both been poor. I'm not sure on Brentford, their managers. I mean, they put up a fight last game out, but yeah, I'm really worried for both these sides. To be fair.
So you've gone for a draw. What's the scoreline? Is it a Desmond or somewhat lower scoring?
1-1 draw.
Well, Chelsea fan agrees with you, and I think we've got Joshua saying that he's not really a big fan of the Olympic Stadium. Certainly, the Berlin ground back in the day had a lot more atmosphere about it, but we'll probably get your prediction very soon. AK,
Yeah,
do you see? What was that, Jonathan?
Oh, I was going to say I don't like the London Stadium either. I like the stadium as a stadium. It was great for the Olympics, but for a football stadium, because they have to keep the track there due to athletics taking place in the summertime and stuff. No, I don't like it. There's no atmosphere like they had at the old ground. And I don't agree with any team playing in a stadium with an athletics track. I just don't like it. You're too far away from, not that I've been to one, but you're just too far away from the pitch.
Yeah, I can understand that. And obviously, when you have stadia which sort of tend to multitask in that respect, it can have its own challenges. But, obviously, there are big screens everywhere. So you'll always see everything that's going on as long as you know where the ball is. So it is what it is. And let's not forget, Arsenal might be forced to move to Wembley while the Emirates Stadium has some work done over there. And when we played at Wembley in the Champions League games, an absolute disaster. So we'll see how that works. Maybe you've got a bit of a point there. AK, the Bees to burst the West Ham United bubble again?
The bees to burst the bees to sting the hammers. Look, both teams so far have been par. I'm not gonna use the word crap. Yeah, they've been par. I mean they've been subpar to be fair, but um I think West Ham at the London Stadium. I think I mean look despite what's going on at West Ham, I pray for the West Ham fans to get I pray for them to get the football club back because obviously Brady and Sullivan are so obviously Sullivan is the main culprit here, and and what he's doing to West Ham Football Club is an actual crime. It's an actual crime. So get these owners out. Get these owners out of your football club. I pray for that. I pray for that. And yes, second of all, since Nuno's come in, he has somewhat improved the side in a way that West Ham actually defensively look a bit compact. Yeah, uh, I would say they look a bit compact, but I think West Ham. I think are gonna play for pride because you know with everything that's going on at the club, um, I, I'm 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 pretty sure the ownership must be seeing this, and well, hopefully they understand that what they're doing to the fans is an absolute disgrace. So yeah, but I think it's gonna be a stinky draw. Uh, especially with that, it's gonna be a stinky draw, especially with a new Brentford with Keith Andrews, who we recently beat at the G-Tech Stadium before the international break. So yeah, look, Brentford though second half I would say they will definitely turn up, but I think West Ham's solidity at the solidity at sorry West Ham's solidity at the back. I think will somewhat get a point. So I'm gonna go 2-2.
2-2. Well, instead of agreeing with Chelsea fan, you're agreeing with the resident Brentford fan, Steve, who says both teams are not
There you
very
go.
good at the
Yeah.
back, but it should be but it should be Brentford's first away point this season, a bonus. And of course, basically saying that even without players like Mboma and Visser, there are still worse teams than them. Completely agree. And I do like Brentford, how they've reacted this season, but they will need to start getting a few more wins. And certainly that win over Aston Villa early on was a big fillip for them in many ways. So thanks for your predictions. We got draws from you so far. Harry, are you going to break the cycle and predict a win for either of these teams?
Sadly not. I'm going to agree with the majority so far. Well, everyone's so far, in fact, and go. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to say it's going to be 1-1. A score draw in the end. Yeah, I just feel like both these sides have had sort of similar starts to the season. Obviously, West Ham been a bit of a ropey start for them, but I think I do think they're on the right path with having Nuno in charge compared to Graham Potter. At the start of the season, he just wasn't getting enough results. Quite simply, but obviously, you look at what Nuno did for Forest last year, and of course, it doesn't always translate to every club. People thought he was going to do good things with Spurs, and then sadly that didn't go well for him in the end. But no, in terms of this game, I do think it'll be a draw, 1-1. It'll be interesting to see how well Brentford do. Of course, they're still acclimatising to the losses of Mboma and Visser, and obviously a new manager as well with Keith Andrews. Obviously, quite intriguing appointment considering he has pretty much no experience of being a number one manager. Having previously worked as an assistant to Tom Frank before he went to Spurs, of course. But yeah, my overall prediction, I'm going to go for 1-1. I'll be Olympics.
Okay, well, I think everyone across the board has predicted a draw, but I'm going to break the cycle and go for Brentford to sneak a win, and it will be 2-1 because West Ham are obviously going to have a problem with their own strikers, Füllkrug and Wilson, not exactly in the best of form, and they're still heavily reliant on Jared Bowen. Yes, they may be a little bit tighter defensively, but again, you can't really make any kind of judgment on how they've improved based on the one game against Arsenal. And as for Brentford, I think if they show a little bit more solidity, they will definitely tighten up, and I think Henderson will continue to have a good game. He will obviously have a big role to play against West Ham's midfield, which could prove to be a bit of a challenge. And of course, Steve getting in a final shot saying that City weren't that great either. Well, I think we all know, mate, that the only thing that matters is the result. And Brentford were great value for money in the second half, just couldn't.
Sorry, money. 1 minute. Sorry, money. 1 minute. 1 minute. Look, Steve, I said it. I said this. I said this in the match review. Yeah, full-time whistle review. I said that we weren't great either, but then we played proper defensive football and we managed to secure 3 points. But not gonna lie, yeah, your defense second half you turned up. I'll give it that. I'll give you that. Second half you turned up, but at the end you weren't good enough. That's it.
Okay. We'll agree with all of that. I think everyone agrees with that. I think Steve does. But of course, now the reason why I've gone here is because we're saving the very best for the very end. It's England's El Clasico, but both teams are in need of a win. United maybe not so much, given that they beat Sunderland recently, but Liverpool have started to slip a bit. A couple of pretty poor results for them in Europe and also domestically, and the champions are starting to slip a little bit. Is it fair to say that, what worked for them last season isn't quite working for them this season, but defensively, they don't look at all very good. And one thing for which I'm going to criticize Arne Slot is his failure in using Joe Gomez effectively. With Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving, this is the right opportunity for Gomez to slot into the right-back slot as a much better defensive option, but instead he's seen the new signing Frimpong play ahead of him, midfielder Szoboszlai play ahead of him in that position, even Curtis Jones has had a game, and Connor Bradley, who has pretty much been diagnosed with the yips, so to speak, he's also played ahead of him. If I were Gomez, I'd demand a transfer. And still plenty of concerns about Van Dijk and Konaté, whether they are, finished at the top level or whether or not they're still capable of some performances. They've also got the aging Scotland captain Andy Robertson, who also has seen better days, but his replacement Kirkes has not been up to snuff, it has to be said. United are starting to win, but, with Amorim, they're still not out of the woods yet. All talk about Amorim possibly getting 3 years at United is absolutely is premature, so to speak. Jonathan, I think we'll get your perspective first because obviously this concerns you as a United fan. I'm not too sure you're quite happy still with the prospect of Amorim continuing to manage the club, but I think with the win over Sunderland in the last game week, are you starting to feel a bit more confident again, or do you fear the same old story going to Anfield?
I think it depends what United turn up and what Liverpool turn up. You would expect Liverpool to go and absolutely thrash us. They did. That was the talk last season. We went there and got a draw. I think with Amorim, I don't like his system, and I don't like that he plays all of these players out of positions. I think Bruno should be in as a 10, not as an 8. That's hammering because he's not doing as great as a number 8 because he's not a number 8. He should be in the 10. If he's playing at 10, there's going to be more goals scored. But I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like, we're not under pressure because we're expected to go there and lose anyway. So Liverpool are the ones that need the win because of their losses, and they're going to be the ones under pressure. We can go there and literally we're expected to lose. So I think it's going to be interesting to see who Amorim picks in goal. I think he should start Sonny Lamans, but my fear is that he will go back to Alta Bayindir. But I think if Sonny Lamans is going to be the number 1 goalkeeper, if they obviously brought him in to be number 1 because they could have brought a really experienced goalkeeper and they chose Sonny Lamans. If they really think he's that good, which I think he is, but we've not seen enough of him yet. But I think that he should be starting because we're not expected to win that game anyway. And even if it's a difficult game, and even if Ruben thinks, well, we'll put Alta in, he's got more experience against the bigger clubs. It's better to give Sonny Lamans the experience and see how he does against one of the best clubs of recent years in Liverpool. I expect for Liverpool, well, Salah's got to start turning up. I mean, he loves a goal against us, so you would expect him probably he's going to score, but we'll see. As for a prediction, I think we could nick it 2-1, but I think my final prediction would be Liverpool to win 2-1.
Well, Steve obviously gone for a 3-1 win, saying that you should never, ever take Liverpool lightly. They're a wounded animal. And once Mark Gahey comes in January, no earlier than that, Liverpool's defence will be upgraded immediately. Couldn't agree more with you on that. I'm not too sure that they will win the Premiership unless they really, get rid of their stupor and start playing better again. But, with Arsenal, you just know that we're primed for a choke. And I think he agrees with you that they are still poor with Amorim. And that is, of course, because of the system that he employs. And, with that Christmas tree-like formation of 3-4-2-1, there's literally no room for a 10. But it will remain to be seen. And Chelsea fan actually has gone for a repeat of your result last season, where I think it was Amad Diallo who scored that last-minute equaliser. I'm not too sure that will necessarily happen this time around, though.
No, I mean, we haven't got Leacher back yet. I think he's going to be an instant upgrade when he comes back, because he started cooking under this system before he got injured. He had the 2 assists, the 2 goals. He got obviously the first goal at Liverpool. That was great, but I think, and we could have. Well, there was a chance from Harry Maguire at the end of that game last season. It's most likely was offside if he had scored it. He didn't score it, but so we'll never know. But for sure. But I really don't know. I mean, I don't know if we can. I mean, we're capable of going there and winning. We have shown that. We've shown up against the big teams. We didn't show up against City, but we shown up against Arsenal. Didn't get a result there at Old Trafford. We should have won that game. We were the better side. But last season, we had a good few results against the top sides, but that's not good enough. We need to turn up. We can't just keep winning against big teams or turn up against big teams and then going to the smaller clubs and just not turning up or getting one result here and then losing the following week. Like, we need a real string of results. And this Sir Jim saying he's going to get 3 years. Like, we can't watch this for 3 years. Like,
no, you can't.
I want Amorim to succeed. I will back him to the end. I'm one of those Man United fans that will back our manager to the end. But he needs to change something. This cannot carry on. If we win against Liverpool, then okay, maybe we can start stringing something together. But even then, like, it's only one win. If we beat Liverpool, it's just one game. So, yes, we beat Sunderland. But if we go and beat Liverpool, that's 2 games in a row. But I still wouldn't be confident that we're then going to go and beat Brighton at Old. I mean, I would expect to beat Brighton at Old Trafford, but you just don't know, because you don't know what side's going to turn up, and he's constantly changing the. Like, he cannot stick to. He keeps changing the back all the time. He keeps changing. Like, it's almost like he doesn't know who's his best players, because he just constantly changes it. You can't keep changing the back all the time. You need to stick. You need to work out who the best 3 is and stick to them. Unless they're injured, of course, then you have to make changes and you have to rotate from time to time. But we're only playing once a week, so I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. But we definitely need improvements.
Yeah, and certainly, Steve isn't very fond of the rat. I think Roland Rat actually makes a lot more sense than Sir Jim Ratcliffe does most of the time. But, AK, I'm going to come to you on this because, Jonathan's spoken about how, in buying Sonny Lamans as supposedly the long-term number 1, they gave him his chance against Sunderland, and it will be expected after that clean sheet that he will play against Liverpool at Anfield. And, of course, when you got Donnarumma in, you pretty much thrust him into the team straight away because Trafford wasn't really working out as you hoped. And, you've been vindicated with that. So I'm sure you'd pretty much agree that Lemons will have to play. Not that you've got any affection for Manchester United. We all know that. But this is El Clasico. It's a Liverpool team that has lost its way a little bit against a United team that's trying to find its way. What do you think the result will be?
You know, as much as I hate both, especially my noisy neighbors down the road, yeah. Um. Yeah. I was saying earlier, Manny. I want the 009 saga to continue because I'm gonna say this because Florian Wirtz, yeah, Florian Wirtz, 0 goals, 0 assists, 9 games, and Liverpool have gone and splashed about what? How much? 125 m's,
Ridiculous.
125 m's on this guy. We got Turkey for cheap. We got him for cheap, cheap as chips. And they just went about and splashed that war chest or whatever, that flipping treasure they've hid under Anfield, and spent it on words. 009, yeah, Florian Squirts, yeah, exactly, Florian Squirts, God, bro. Oh yeah, and especially Isak. Yeah, look, no offense to him, but I'm telling you, Newcastle fans are gonna be watching this up close. They're gonna be watching this with the magnifying glass. So yeah. Um, look, Jonathan, as much as I hate your club, as much as I hate Liverpool, as much as I hate you both, but um, all I ask is one favor.
Yep.
Uh, just try and not let slot machine get 3 points, because because that fraud needs to be cooked.
We've not won there since 2015, so it would be huge to get. I mean, to be fair, not many teams go to Anfield and win anyway. There's lots of teams got really bad, poor records there, but I'm hoping it can end this weekend and we can stop the slot machine from getting the 3 points. I'd take a draw. I really would.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, draw.
you know what, Jonathan? Sorry, Harry. Yeah, Jonathan. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll take a draw as well. I'll take a draw if we can get it. I'll take a draw.
Oh no, thank you, Mr. B. I don't.
Okay, so okay, when you say draw, will it be a Desmond or just a 1-1 draw?
I'm gonna go 1-0.
A stinky draw. Okay, well, Harry, we're ending with you, saving the best for the very end. Take us home.
Oh, thanks, Manny. But I'm going to agree with what Jonathan said. So my prediction is a 2-1 win to Liverpool. But both sides sort of had very inconsistent spells recently. I think Liverpool on a bit of a winless run, where contrast to Manchester United, they're actually coming on just off the back of a win, albeit the wins do come sparingly for Manchester United this season, and it's been a common theme on the rebound room. You guys would have been indefinitely seen the guy who's going viral on social media for not cutting his hair until Manchester United win 5 games in a row. Sadly, with my prediction as well, I think that's going to be still ongoing. But no, it's interesting to see where Ruben Aaron can take. Sorry, he does need to switch up his system. I do believe a little bit. although he said he's sticking with the system, so we'll see how that goes. But Liverpool, I think, excuse me, I think this will be obviously a very heated game in a local derby. But I think I have a feeling it's been a nice game for them to get back to winning ways in sense, which is it's hard to see. Like Jonathan said, my don't have any expectations to go there and win, which is sort of disappointing to see how far they've dropped in recent years. But 2-1 Liverpool. I'm gonna go from this one.
And I don't see. I don't see
Go ahead,
that.
Jonathan.
I don't see him cutting his hair anytime soon.
No, neither do I.
The United strand will not be cutting his hair. How long it's going to get? I mean, Jesus, it's long enough as it is. But
yeah, sorry to hear that. And of course, look who's joined us, the main man. We've been talking about United. We've been talking about Amorim. The prospect of him getting 3 years. Just briefly, Oris, what's your prediction? And do you want Amorim for 3 years?
I want Amorim for 30 years. Listen,
No. No.
Look, big game on Sunday. Honestly, I think United fans, we deserve to be confident. And I'm going to this game thinking, you know what? Let's go there and get the 3 points. But for me, right, it's not as easy for me to say that because it's Anfield. This is Anfield, so it's a difficult atmosphere, difficult stadium. But Liverpool have been poor, guys, right? That midfield of theirs, we can easily destroy that team. I'm telling you now, because there's no way that Amorim will drop Lamens. No way. And then it's just the defense for me. If I see Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire together, and that's why I say, you know what, yeah, Liverpool, you know what, try not score 6 past us. So you know what? Sorry about that. Let's just. Anyways, as I continue, it's going to be a difficult match, very difficult. But I'm going to say we're going to get a draw there. We're going to get a draw.
Okay, a draw. Very interesting indeed. Well, obviously Jonathan's hoping for a draw, but I think he's expecting Liverpool to win.
Jonathan, man.
AK's gone for a draw, but most of us have pretty much gone for Liverpool to win. And, I don't think there's any way of getting around that. But, it's Sunday evening, and that, of course, is going to be another Diwali cracker. And, of course, before we wrap up the stream, let me once again say happy Diwali in advance to all our Indian friends and everyone celebrating this. And especially if you live in London or anywhere these big cities, if they have a Diwali fest going on this weekend, do please attend it. Bollywood music, terrific dancing, some amazing food. You will not regret it. I promise you. And now, of course, I'm going to go around the panel and ask everyone to shout out their socials.
Sorry, Manu, you will not.
Yes, okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry. To all of them, yeah. Look, I'm telling you, Diwali is like your typical. Diwali is like your typical.
Christmas.
Like Christmas or okay. No. It's not just Christmas, mate. It's more like your. It's more like a nightclub. Yeah, think about. It's more like a nightclub with some music, with some firecrackers.
Nightclub,
Enjoyment.
no alcohol.
That's all I can say.
Alcohol free.
Alcohol, mate. Yeah,
AK?
exactly.
I don't think you'll get alcohol, but you will get some amazing food. And listen, you go to any nightclub, you'll struggle to get anything good to eat. You come out of there, you'll be hoping and praying to get a takeaway at about 3 a.m. Not really worth it. But anyway, let's go around the panel and thank everyone for coming in. Jonathan, our late arrival, thank you for joining us. And do shout out your socials and tell us where we can find you.
Thank you for having me on. It's been a great night. Appreciate you all, and it's good to see everybody. Happy Diwali to all who are celebrating. Hope you have a great weekend and eat lots of food and all of that good stuff and partying and all that. and you can find me on YouTube. My channel is Jonathan B45. I don't post often on there, but there's videos on there, and when I feel like it, I do upload on there. So you can check it out. You can check me out there, and yeah.
Okay, just helping you out there. That's your ID, and that's where we can find you. Thank you very much indeed for coming. AK, my Tamil brother, thank you very much for dropping in. Where do we find you, and what are your plans for this weekend?
Clubbing.
My plans for this weekend. Not so sure. I mean, pretty much it's like my plans are random in the weekend. So I don't know. Probably I'm gonna watch the City game on Saturday. Hopefully beat Everton. And yeah. At the moment, I'm gonna be doing a show with the Bayern View. He's a Bayern View, but he's an English lad. So go. I mean, so go and subscribe to him. Uh, Great guy. Although he supports Bayern, but he knows football. His football knowledge is actually good. So
Yeah.
just go subscribe to him. And yeah, I'm gonna be doing a show with him later on. And yeah, as you can see here,
Oh.
I got me a can of
No,
Peroni,
no,
and I'm
no
just
beef, mate.
Cheers, AK.
I got me a
Yes.
I got me a can of Peroni, and yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty much enjoying my Friday. And shout out to you all. And you can follow me on my Instagram. AKC. You can just follow me on my Insta, AKCW City. And yeah, uh, have a blessed Friday, everyone. And yeah, uh, happy Deepavali to my fellow Indians out there, and to all my fellow Indians in the UK who are celebrating. So happy Deepavali.
Thank you very much indeed. And once again, OTF does not condone consumption of alcohol, especially not for minors. If you are of age, especially do not consume while you're on screen. Please drink responsibly. Harry, you were here from the beginning and you're here at the end. It's a privilege to consider you a friend. Thank you very much for coming on. We've loved hearing you speak. Where do we find you, and what have you got coming up this weekend or on your channel otherwise?
No, it's all right. I was going to say now, first of all, I want to say a massive thank you to you, Manny, for having me on the channel. Obviously, it's been a very enjoyable stream tonight. It was a great panel as well. Shout out to everyone here. Shout out to obviously Manny for stepping in and hosting tonight's stream. Big up to AK, John, or rest as well. And do forgive me. I'm not quite sure how to say it, but happy celebrations to all of you guys who will be celebrating this weekend. I'm sure whatever you get up to, it'll be a great time. For me this weekend, not got too much on, although I will be watching some sort of local football tomorrow, as I do. I do sort of. I am sort of the admin and Twitter or X sort of updates. I do the updates of the game for a local football team who goes by the name of Fulham Town. So I'll be very, very interested in playing against Winchester City, who have some very big game up top of the table in non-league. So I'll be very interested tomorrow. And then for the rest of it, probably try and catch a few of the Premier League games. And yeah, if you do want to, obviously, first of all, do make sure to subscribe to our Rest Talks. Because you'll find you'll see a lot more of us hopefully regularly on these streams. And I know Rest has got a running joke with me looking a bit like Chevalier. So if you want to see more Chevalier, make sure to subscribe. But if you got a spare moment, do free to come check out. Do check out everyone else as well. By the way, if you've got a spare minute, do free to check out my channel Honeygum, where I mostly do sort of videos related to my local WFL club, Bristol. Also got a thing going with John at the moment where we're sort of collecting sort of a latest edition of the Premier League cards and seeing sort of a competition to see who can pack the best cards. So that's been very interesting so far. We've got another video coming out hopefully very soon. Also, do feel free to check me out on TikTok. That's at HarryMinton20, where I do basically the same as I do on YouTube, with pretty much enjoying more of it on TikTok. But yeah, other than that, thank you for having me on. Hope all of you have a blessed weekend, and happy celebrations to all you guys as well. Hope it's a really good weekend, and hopefully football teams can have a great result. But yeah, cheers for having me. Cheers for having me on, lads. Really appreciate it.
Always appreciate you coming on, Harry. Take care of yourself, mate. Thank you. And of course, I will shout myself out at the end, because there's a reason why. And if you want to catch me on Instagram, it's Manny Thangadurai 1981. That's my name and my year of birth over there. You can find me there on Instagram. If you want to catch me on the morass, that is Twitter, not X, Twitter. It's my surname, 1981, Thangadurai 1981. And you can catch me on Twitter talking about all things football, politics related, all sorts of other stuff. And you can also find our channel on Twitter and Instagram. Just take a look at the ticker. That's where you'll find us. And the reason why I've gone here is because I'm going to now shout out the founder of our channel, so he can tell us about himself. Postman Orest, as it were, coming back from a late night shoot with no... You're not wearing a black and white vest, though. Tell us what you got coming up this weekend for yourself, and where we can find you, and how we can stay in touch with Orest Talks Football.
Yeah, first of all, big up to Manny for hosting the stream. I'm going to rewatch this later on tonight when I get home. But yeah, big up everyone. Happy Diwali to those that are celebrating this week. Don't drink too much.
I think some connection problems there, but I think he's pretty much said what he wants to say, or maybe his signal's going down. But anyway, this time to wrap things up. We've been on now for about an hour and 3/4, and I am really glad, of course, that we've had.
Can you hear me?
Oh.
Yeah, I think you're frozen, Orest, so you're going to have to let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Of course. But anyway, once again, thanks to everyone who's joined in the chat. Thanks a lot to everyone as well on the panel. And of course, we will be back with a review on Monday, of course. Not Monday, maybe Tuesday, because it is the Monday night derby at the London Stadium. But again, without further ado, thank you all very much for joining in the chat. Thanks to the panelists. We hope to see you again very soon. Have a great weekend, and don't do anything that any of us wouldn't do. But until then, as always, farewell. Yes, thank you, Orest. Thank you so much. And as always, take care of yourselves. Be safe. Be happy. Farewell. Adieu. God bless. And we are out of here. Thank you very much once again. Let me see if I got this.